Okay, second winner in best in VR storytelling advertising experience is Nike, the Neymar Effect, Digital Domain, and IM360. Can you roll the clip?
Just a heads up.
Yeah,
this
please.
is a 30-second trailer on TV. If you want to see the actual spot, you go to YouTube, type in Neymar Jr. Effect, and you can see that. You can move around the phone. Way better.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
I thought that you guys did a really smart thing, and I wanted to ask kind of how you decided to do it. The Easter eggs that were kind of sort of called out. I saw it on YouTube 360. I don't know if I didn't see the cardboard app, so I don't know if the same was done in there. But it seemed really brilliant in terms of once you finished the video, did you see this, that, and the other? Could you talk about that? Like, how did you decide to do that?
Sure. Nike, when they approached us, they had this idea for a VR spot. And with VR, you have one location you look at, and that's pretty much it. And so for repeated viewing, they requested ideas to put around. And so that's what we did. We decided to put a blimp in there, a streaker, all sorts of different effects, and it works out pretty well. So it gets you to watch a spot a couple times and see these little things here and there. So it was an agency Nike call, and I think it worked out pretty well to get you to watch it again and again.
So how do you see, I mean, Nike's obviously huge. How do you see, brands being attracted to VR? I mean, do you see a huge uptake in that? Is it just the big guys right now, or is everybody looking to get into VR? And, obviously, what specifically, I mean, when we talk about the empty machine, obviously, the connection to the product and the material, what kind of interest are you seeing there?
I think we're seeing a fair amount of interest right now on the commercial side just because it's a novel thing. Right? VR is very new, and we want to get in on that right away. And it's a prime time to charge money and get more money and make really cool stuff and run the infrastructure and go forward from there. So I think we're seeing quite a bit of interest from all parties, from commercial houses to game studios, things just to do either pre-rendered cinematic stuff or live stuff with the game engine. So.
The piece has a pretty stylized look to it. It's very moody, very dark. Could you talk about sort of your production process? Was it all captured in one take, and then you did a stadium replacement and just kind of graded stuff, or did you do multiple passes? How did you put it together?
So the initial shoot was 2 days in Barcelona. Over 2 days, we captured 50 terabytes of information from one main camera, a stereo camera, 3 witness cameras, 3 360 spherical rigs, and all that was shooting at 90 frames a second. And then we had all that running 12 to 25 times to capture all the multiple passes. So every single interaction you see in the piece is shot one time for 30 seconds, the next person comes in, next time for 30 seconds. And then we put it all together. And then the iteration in terms of moody and then dark, the director Adam Berg, he had done a lot of stuff with DD before, and he liked his dark and moody flashes of light. And so he initially went that way, and then of course you have creative changes and decisions that are made. And so we ended up brightening up the piece quite a bit, and that's how it comes around.
So you just glossed over a really big part. You said, and then you put it all together, and boom. So 50 terabytes of data,
yeah.
And all of those cameras, and all of that, different types of footage, and different cameras, and 3D cameras, and 360 cameras. I mean, talk a little bit about the post. Like, how did you assemble all this together, and was it a nightmare? And what, that's a lot.
There's no nightmare. It's just difficult. Very difficult.
Nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, it is a challenge, and every company is trying to figure out how to solve those challenges. But we had a really great team. We had enough people and support and people that knew how to get all that information into the system, and it's quite elaborate. I mean, it's a very complicated process in the sense that you have to track every single camera you ever have. Then you have to put it in a system into Nuke. We use Nuke, and then run it and make sure all the feet are on the round, make sure all the players are where they need to be, make sure the timing with the ball, with the CG ball, the live action Neymar character works together. So is just a lot of brute force, pretty much. And we had over, about 2 months to do all of that. From beginning to end, it's about 4 months.
Yeah, I think that's actually a great point. Data management, I'm a tech guy, so the data management component
Yeah, that's
of it
huge.
is absolutely massive, and it's only going to get bigger. The request for more resolution, more color depth, and then once we start talking about light fields, you're talking about a multiplication factor of like 5 or 10. So that intake side and also the distributable side, the deliverable side is actually a huge challenge, not just for us on the VR component, but also for potential channels of distribution and the audience and the burden it's going to place on their devices as they want to watch this content. Credit goes to these guys. I mean, Janelle Kershaw, the VFX soup, was just like just a real master of all that placement and making sure that the piece came together. It was all shot in plates, or it was a combination of plates and 360, and really composing that in the same vision as what Adam Berg originally kind of spun up in his head. And that vision was actually kind of it's a dialogue. You have to really tie in the creative with the tech, understanding the desires of not only Widen the agency, but Nike the client, and figuring out how to actually translate into that into something that the tech is capable of at this current state. And for that effect, we're like, okay, great, we can't really go super photorealistic, live field, 2 p.m. in a match. So how do we stylize this? How do we pay tribute to the athlete that Neymar is, the brand that Nike is, and also the director that Adam is, and make all of that seamless as possible? And credit goes to these guys. It's an amazing job.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. And what's the URL again? Where can they see it? Where did you say they can see it?
You can see it on YouTube, any streaming player that's 360, so Gear VR.
Okay, great. All right, thank you, guys.